are dealing within their families, but I didn't want them to lose on the final year of the fun that they could have and the final year of savings that they could do, and so do I. So I went into the matter, what was the problem they were facing, and individually I dealt with them. I tried to motivate them individually so that whatever is happening to the family, in between the families, they should not go that deep into it, because they have a long life to live. They should not keep negative sensations within each other's brotherhood. So the method that I used was to add value to their living. One of the brothers was really fond of watching movies, so I had passes of International Film Festival. I offered him my passes so that he could have an influence that due to me he is able to get a whole lifetime experience of film festival. And the second brother, I handed over that job to my mother so that she can use some soft skills in motivating him, saying, "Beta, let's what's the problem? You have been friends since 12 years, so let's stretch it one more year so that you also don't miss on your education." And so that the both of them understood that if they would be leaving me, they would be jumping into a new world of challenges. So ultimately, when I showed them the value of living with me and living not with me as a team, living as a family for the final year, both of them got agreed, but it took time. So what I understood and learned from this, that if we add a value to the experiences, to the things that we sell or the things that we have to offer to our guests or even friends or family, that opens their vision towards us, that enables them to enjoy the moment, that enables them to be together. So that if I would have not given them the value, then they would have not felt it worth living. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Yes. Your movement was much less, much restricted. Good.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin with my first encounter to negotiation. It was when I was in class 8. I had a bicycle and I wasn't riding it at that moment. So my mom just asked me, you sell the bicycle for whatever price you get and keep it with yourself. So I went down. There was a guy who used to clean up the kachra. I just asked him if you or any of your friend is interested in buying it. So he was like, okay, I'll buy it. And he said that I'll buy it for 500. He himself said it. I was just in class 8, 12 years old. I wasn't even know how to position my product. So he just said that I'll buy it for 500. And I actually sold him the bicycle for 400. I was like, you are so, like, how much do you earn and how much do you get? So, and till the moment my mother, taunts me on that incident. You actually sold him for 400. Are you donating it? You should have given it him for free. So that was a very funny incident. But apart from that, the incident which I would like to share would be the one I encountered in college. It was the second time when the college was having a fest, annual fest, and the previous year it didn't do well. The sponsorship was less, the events were less, and this time it came to my knowledge that we are planning to have a bigger fest. So I just went to the coordinator who was arranging the whole fest, and I just put up my idea, like we could have a gaming tournament. Since I was a gamer, I was very keen towards it. So I was like, we could have a gaming tournament in the college, and we might earn some revenue, and we could market our college very well, because if gaming competition is being held, you'll have more people come to the college. You'll have more people participating, you'll have more prizes, everything. So through a lot of effort, and we had to go through various meetings with the principal, with the whole committee, and it was sanctioned. And but later on we came to realize that we were not reaching the budget of the sponsorship. It was, since the college was hosting it for the second time, so it wasn't very famous. and the college was in the inside the city, very much inside. All the people were like, and it was March, so it was the financial year end. None of the companies were interested in investing. So then the professor just told me that this is it. We are not going to provide you with any prize money, and if you want to cancel the tournament, you can. But I couldn't do that because I had my reputation in that city. I had gone to various cafes, invited people, and I had around 100, 150 registrations already. So I had to talk with everyone, tell everyone that the price has been reduced, and since it's not printed, so I was able to do that, and it happens very often in the college. So we came down with the prices and everything, and the college only provided me with the printing material, the computer lab, and the AC, and the rest I had to manage. So like I won the negotiation of launching the gaming tournament, but I had to go through various difficulties. So that was the thing. So I learned a lesson, like you should plan accordingly. You should think for yourself if you are able to get something. And the second incident would be similar to Mr. Aditya. I had to sell a bike. It was a couple of months back. My dad had got a bike, Yamaha. The bike was gifted to him by some company, and we were not in a need of a bike. So he just asked me to sell it. So it so happened, I just put up an advertisement on OLX and Sulekha everywhere, and spread a word amongst my friends everywhere. So a couple of days later, I got a call, and a person was interested in buying it. The bike on road costed for 70,000. So I wanted to sell it around 65 or 62. My father was like, if you get 60, it's enough, because no one is going to buy if you sell it at 65. Like just for a difference of 5,000, he is not going to buy a second-hand product. So 60 was his amount which he wanted, and I said that I'll put 65. So I quoted 65 on the internet, and the guy came to me. Then we started talking. The bike didn't have a kick. It was electric start. So he said that you install the kick and then give it to me. So I said that if I install the kick, I'll take 67. Then it came down to 63. But it so happened like one of my dad's friend wanted that bike and he sold it at 60. But I had made a deal for 63, and I was getting 3,000 more. But since he wanted to sell it to his friend, I couldn't. That was a good experience.
Good. Good experiences. Now you have not spoken very fast.
Yes.
We have found the improvement, and that's really appreciated. Give him a big hand.
I'm from Mumbai. My experience was when I'd gone to Hyderabad, my father had bought me a new phone before I started college. My father had bought me a new phone. I went there, I started using the phone, and then in 15-20 days the phone got lost. And then my father, I was like, I need a new phone, I'm staying away from you all, where will you all call me? They're like, we'll call on my friend's number, it's okay. Don't need another phone right now, you just lost one right now. And that phone was for around 9.5 or something. So then my parents were like, right now you just lost a phone, or you used it for 20 days properly, you've lost it already. So there's no need of one more phone. Or else if you want, you just buy a phone for 2,000, 3,000, just for calling, nothing else. I was like, no, it's not required, it's rather, don't buy me a phone, it's okay, don't talk to me. I was like, okay. Then there were 2-3 days it went, and then I was like continuously telling them, I need a phone, I can't do this, I can't do that. So many people, everyone has a decent phone, I don't have a phone at all. They're like, your mistake, you've lost it. I was like, yeah, I've lost it, I agree. But now what? If I lose something, I won't get anything back. Then it went on for quite some time, and then finally my parents bought me a new phone again. And actually they sent me 9.5 again. Then my mother was all, don't take a phone, it's so expensive, take a cheaper phone and use it. By the end of it, now you get cheaper phones also with same features and this and that. Then I bought a phone of 7,000. But the funniest part was I used up the extra 2,500 in that phone only. I bought an extra memory card and this and that. So it was, entire thing was consumed, and my mother was like, you could have rather bought a phone only which you wanted then in that case. Then I used that phone for a month and a half, I guess. And then the phone fell down from the 3rd floor. 1.5 months. And it fell down from the 3rd floor. And then luckily it was working. And then Nokia. And then another 2 days it fell down from the bed and it was totally gone. Then it fell down from the bed, it was totally gone. It couldn't be used. Nothing could have been done. Then again, I was in the process of convincing my parents this time. And the first time they had sent me to Hyderabad with the first phone, they were like, after this you will not get a phone till you graduate. I was like, okay, fine, I won't even ask and this and that. Second phone, same thing, I said, okay, fine, I won't even ask. Third time, same problem. I was like, what do I do now? Then I kept on telling them, okay, now give it to me one last time. I won't ask for another phone. Please, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, we will think about it. I kept on calling them every day, and I used to call for my friends when I was like, she doesn't like it. Every time I keep on calling my parents, her calls are getting interrupted and this and that. They're like, okay, no problem, we'll call in the college. I was like, don't call in the college and all, very embarrassing and this and that. So they're like, okay, fine. Then they didn't give me a phone. Then I didn't know what to do for quite some time. What I did, I called up. I told them, you'll give it to me or else I won't talk to you all. And a lot of blackmailing. And then they were like, okay, do what you want, because I usually do it all the time. So then I called up my grandmother, my nanny. I called her up. I was like, my parents not giving me a phone. Tell them. Then my nanny told my mother. My mother told my father. I called up my mama. I told my mama, call them up, tell them to give me a phone. I called up my uncle, I called up my aunt, I called up everyone possible. Called my parents, I don't have a phone. Where will you all call me? My birthday is going to come. How will you all call me? How will you all wish me? So then finally, slowly by slowly, everyone started calling my parents, like, what are you trying to do? Telling everyone. I was like, you all don't listen to me, please listen to them. Some are your elders also, you should listen to elders. You all have only taught me. And then finally they gave me another phone. And no, I didn't break it, but I was too bored of using it. And then I bought that phone. My parents also, I don't know what happened. This was 1 or 2 months before my birthday. So then they gave me another phone on my birthday because I asked them, and I sold that phone off, so I got a decent rate. And I convinced them to buy me a new phone. And this phone that I have, it is this phone that I have that I'm using. It's too problematic, very irritating, gets hanged and stuff like that. But now, my parents always used to say, value money, do something. Why do you want to, always waste money, take something cheaper? By the end of it, you're going to break everything or lose it. So then I was like, no, you all think that I need all this also, na? Then they were like, okay. And now, when I'm like, you all buy me a new phone, they're like, buy it from your salary. I was like, no, I need my salary for traveling and all. They're like, we will give you money for traveling, buy another phone. But now I don't feel like spending my salary like that. So yeah, basically, after all this, one thing I realized is try until you succeed. But keep on persevering to get what you want. And the other thing I learned is value for money. When you earn something, when you get it in your hand, then you realize the worth of it more than when someone is actually trying to just tell you theoretically that money is very important, don't spend it so uselessly. And now I don't feel like buying another food. Thank you.
At a little higher pitch. So what they do, from the normal pitch, they raise their pitch and at that level they modulate. So for example, if you open page number 37, it's the famous speech by Martin Luther King, I have a dream. Now, how we'll go about it, I'll just set the pace by speaking 1 or 2 paragraphs. Then each one of you will come, maintaining that pitch and modulating. I'll try to help you so that we continue with the speech. All of you will come only 2, 3 paragraphs, but still we will try to find that the speech is one piece. Okay? Page number 37. Everyone is on 37?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. I have a dream. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration of freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came in as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of captivity. But 100 years later, we must face the tragic fact that the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled in the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. Now, you can start from the beginning. So at this pitch and modulate, all that we have to do is read a speech. Speech is so nicely worded that it will ensure that there is sufficient enthusiasm in all of them. Okay?
I have a dream. I'm happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom.
Pace. Maintain the pace. Now, leader, each and every word must be very clear. So, no more than this. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration. The emphasis on the keywords. Start again.
I have a dream. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of captivity. But 100 years later, we must face the tragic fact that Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination.
Emphasize, 100 years later,
100 years later, we must face the tragic fact that the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languishing in the corners of American society and find himself an exile in his own land. So we have come here today to dramatize an appalling condition.
Thank you. Next.
In a sense, we have
come to our nation's
In a sense, we have come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent word of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, there was signing a promissory note to which every American was to follow. This note was a promise that all men would be guaranteed
the inalienable rights
of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as our citizens of color are concerned.
Instead of
honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, which has become backmarked.
Which has come back
marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe
that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt.
But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vault of opportunities of this nation. So we have come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of the freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice.
Now is the time
Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to open the doors of opportunity to all of the God's children. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood.
Thank you.
It would be fatal for the
It
nation.
would be fatal for the nation.
It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the movement and to underestimate the determination of the Negro.
Good. Good, very good.
This withering summer of the Negroes' legitimate disconnect will not pass until there is an
Invigorating autumn.
invigorating autumn of freedom and equality.
We'll all help each other, you know. We'll all help each other. So that focus. Few moments we have. Yeah.
1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship's rights. The whirlwinds
The whirlwinds of revolt
will continue to shake